The first objects which saluted my eyes when I arrived on the coast were the sea and the slave ship, which was then riding at anchor and awaiting its cargo. These filled me with astonishment, which was soon converted into terror when I was carried on board. I was immediately handled and tossed up to see if I was sound by some of the crew. And I was now persuaded that I had gotten into a world of bad spirits, and that they were going to kill me. Their complexions differed so much from ours, their long hair and the language they spoke, which was very different from any I had ever heard, united to confirm me in this belief, as well as the multitude of black people of every description chained together, every one of their countenances expressing dejection and sorrow. No, I no longer doubted my fate, and quite overpowered with horror and anguish, I fell motionless on the deck and fainted. When I recovered a little, I found some black people about me, who I believed were some of those who brought me on board. They were receiving their pay. I now saw myself deprived of all chance of returning to my native country, or even the least glimpse of hope of gaining its shore. But I was not long suffered to indulge my grief, for I was soon put down under the decks. There I received such a salutation in my nostrils as I had never experienced in my life. The stench, the closeness of the place, the heat of the climate, the number of us forced to live in those conditions with scarcely room to turn almost suffocated us. I was soon reduced so low that happily for myself it was thought necessary to keep me always on deck. And because of my extreme youth, I was not put in chains. One day, when we had a smooth sea and moderate wind, two of my wearied countrymen, who were chained together, preferring death to such a life of misery, jumped into the sea. Immediately, another quite dejected fellow also followed their example. There was such a noise and confusion amongst the white people to go after the slaves. Two of the wretches were already drowned, but they did get the other, and afterwards flogged him unmercifully for thus attempting to prefer death to slavery. In this manner, we continued to undergo more hardships than I now can or want to relate. Hardships inseparable from this accursed trade that still causes so many of us to prefer death. to slavery. Death to slavery.